Why do we need to do legacy planning? Well, you don't know what you don't know, right? Sometimes due to a lack of knowledge of the legal system or the tax system in the different jurisdictions, you probably don't really know what you will have lost if you don't plan for legacy. So for example, you can think that your assets will naturally go to your children, but in reality, your assets could flow to your ex-spouse family. You might think you can leave a lot of money in a stocks account, but you probably are leaving a liability rather than assets to your next generation. I give an example. There was a Singaporean who invested $3 million in his US stock account. He didn't know that for foreigners investing in US stocks, anything above $60,000, it was taxed at 55% at that time. Right now it's 40%. Out of his $3 million, more than half of the amount was taxed by the US government. And unfortunately, there was a tax bubble burst and the account value went down by almost half. So instead of getting any money from the stock account, the family had to pay the US government the tax liability. So that could be one example why people need to plan early, because they don't know what's going to happen after death and they cannot get up from their grave. If you have a business, the situation can be even more dire, because when you are not around, who is going to take over the business? Without proper planning, the business, people will lose confidence in the business. You can see from the stats that for the listed companies, when the key person passes on, the stock price usually drops by a lot. And the reason is because people lose confidence in that company. So that happens to a listed company. And the same thing for the private company is that your key employees and also your key suppliers or your key customers will lose confidence in the business if there's no planning. And they probably will take advantage as well. So if you want to protect your family members to make sure that they have enough to survive, they do not be bothered by the creditors, or they are still having enough money to survive and your business can still continue to grow, then you have to plan early. So if you want a comprehensive business plan for your succession and inheritance, please feel free to contact me.